In the world of prepared, the words high quality and freeware really don't go together very often. Sure, there's some pretty good sceneries that are mediocre quality, and there's some pretty high quality but payware sceneries around, but there really isn't a gap where there's a high quality freeware available for prepared users. At least until you meet SunSkyJet. Let's take a look at their latest scenery for Detroit and Prepared version V4. SunSkyJet is a small group of developers who are keen on releasing payware quality sceneries for free. They're really well known for their previous work, Philadelphia International, for FS 2004 and FSX, and has even been ported over to X-Plane. The team has always prided itself as being the epitome of freeware for the prepared world, even in the world where everything is payware now, especially with prepared. The term high quality scenery for free is much more of an X-Plane thing, especially with developers such as Mr. Rex and Vertical Simulations releasing very high quality sceneries for free in the X-Plane world. However, when you step over into the prepared world, it's not as often, and SunSkyJet is really leading the charge with payware quality sceneries for free. You could easily fool someone into thinking this is a payware scenery, especially with the detail that is all around the airport. And what's even more amazing is that this freeware scenery is probably more detailed than a lot of payware sceneries that come around in this industry. SunSkyJet has proven themselves time and time again that there is a glimmer of hope for high quality freeware in the prepared world. And honestly, their sceneries rival Flight Tampa, Flightbeam, FsDreamTeam, and they don't charge a single cent, which is an amazing feat, and I think we should give them some credit for it. So today, without further ado, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at what the scenery has, why it's amazing, and why, in my opinion, you should donate to support these developers because they're doing an amazing job for free. Now, what is important to note is that this is a work in progress scenery. This scenery has been in development since 2013, over 6 years ago. This scenery was initially supposed to be for FS 2004 and FSX, but with the addition of prepared V4 and 64-bit simulators now, this kind of changes the scaping of things. So there are a few things that will probably be bugged and not work. There are updates that are coming constantly, so you're going to see a few glitches here and there, but rest assured they will be fixed in the finalized product. Now, as I just mentioned, this scenery has been in development for 6 years, and it's quite amazing to see how a lot of the stuff they initially built back in 2013 and 2014 still stands the test of time. Now, as you can see over here, these SO jetways are missing, as well as some terminal jetways over here missing and are misplaced. Again, it's because it's a work in progress scenery. It's going to be fixed. I'm using an older copy. They probably have already issued out an improved copy, but it's all good and dandy, no harm there. You're probably wondering, how can I obtain this scenery? And it's very simple. What you'll do is you'll go to the SunSkyJet website, and then you'll pay to enter the closed beta by donating any amount of money you seem fit. It can be $1, it could be $20, you choose. Any amount of money will let you come into the beta. If you're not willing to pay money right now, that's perfectly fine. You can wait for the scenery to be released as freeware, though that might take a little time. So, me being the impatient rat I am, I donated because they did a great job with the scenery, and I also get to help provide advice and give some constructive criticism to where the product can be improved. Enough of that talk, let's talk about what is amazing in this scenery. As you see, I'm panning around the airport right now. The level of detail is amazing. The mesh editing is also amazing. As you can see, there are roadways, taxiways, and things that go under highways. There are bridges and everything else. As you can see over on the left, if I turn my mouse a little bit this way, there's a roadway that goes under the taxiway. Just the level of detail that goes in here. The elevation changes is amazing. There are scenery developers such as ImagineSim that didn't even include significant elevation changes for their airports, such as Atlanta, that has huge elevation changes. But these guys for Detroit included it, and I'm very proud and I'm really impressed by what they've done. The airport will feature SOD jetways, and as you can see, some of them are glitched right now, but that's more of a me thing. I'm probably using an older version of this, and they probably have released a more up-to-date version of this. But again, the full product will have SOD jetways, dynamic lighting, PBR, and a bunch of all the other cool native P3D v4 features that we all know and love. As you can see, I'm using Ultimate Traffic Live, and the AI models are working perfectly fine with the scenery. They're matching up to the gates correctly, they're even connecting to some of the SOD jetways, and it's working pretty flawlessly, which is impressive to see that they're going all around. Nothing has been overlooked by this scenery, and I love it. Another thing I'd like to point out is the level of detail for the interior of the terminal. As you can see, things are placed where they actually are. They even have the SkyTrain right here, that if I can pan over here, that is, it's modeled, it's here. They've got the SkyTrain, they've got boarding areas, they've got gate areas, they've got check-ins, and it's really well done for a freeware project. And if you want to opt in, you can pay $1, and have this level of quality. It's amazing. There are payware developers that don't even go this deep with their sceneries. The level of quality that we're able to get for the price, if not the free price you can pay for this, is just amazing, especially compared to some other scenery developers that charge substantial amounts of money and don't include this much detail. Furthermore, frame rate wise, it's pretty great. I'm recording this video in real time, nothing's been edited or altered, and overall the frames are pretty good. I'm running Ultimate Traffic Live as well as several other programs in the background, and I'm pretty impressed by how well it's keeping up. As we move to the exterior part of the airport, the area is still very high in detail, as you can see from the ground textures right here, as well as some other dynamic vegetation and 3D grass that's near the taxiways and runways. Static trucks as well as moving vehicles have also been incorporated into the scenery, which adds much to the immersion of the airport. What's even more amazing about this scenery is that they're not done with this airport. They're also modeling downtown Detroit, as you can see by the pictures on the screen. This is something that they did with Philadelphia, where they modeled the downtown area, which you end up flying over. Now, you don't necessarily fly over downtown Detroit, but I'm really impressed that they decided to include that, even if you don't fly over it in their freeware scenery. Honestly, if they charge $30 for this scenery, I could see that as justified, but they're not, and that's just amazing. As I mentioned previously, the environment is beautiful with 3D vegetation and grass, as you can see right here, elevation changes, and a really well integrated scenery that fits very well with the outside area. As you can see, I'm using FTX Global, and just the environment, how the trees and everything else react with the scenery is really well done. Alright, I have now moved completely to the other side of the airport. I'm over at the D gates where airlines such as Southwest and Spirit operate out of. As you can see, I'm here with the PMDG 737 NGX, and GSX is integrated pretty perfectly with this, and I have no problems whatsoever. You can also see that the SOD jetways are in action, and they're working pretty flawlessly, as well as the updated models such as the new Stylus livery and everything else over here. I'm very appreciative that they actually go back in and redo and fix things, because remember, this scenery is in development way before Southwest did their whole rebranding with the new livery and such. As you can see, the level of detail carries over to this part of the airport, and I'm really impressed. You also can see a little goofs and gags where this scenery you can tell was developed back in 2013. For example, they still have AirTran and US Airways listed on the departures board here. I find it pretty interesting and cool to look at, seeing how the scenery is built back when these airlines were still in operation. Furthermore, you can still see how the surrounding area is really well done. They even include construction zones, highways, and signs that you probably don't even notice when you're flying over the airport. But I'm just really impressed by how much money they're asking, if any money at all, and how they're diligent on having the highest quality possible, regardless that they're charging this for free or not. Even small things like the surrounding train that runs through the airport with graffiti on the cars is modeled, as you can see here. It's just amazing how much detail they put in. I cannot stress this enough. It's just beautiful how much work went into this airport and how they're just willingly able to market this as free. As I mentioned previously, there's moving vehicles that are around the airport that makes it much more alive, if you will. The tires aren't moving, but I think that's more of a performance thing. But overall, I'm very impressed. You know, as you can see, details just all around. It feels like a very immersive airport. It feels like you're actually in Detroit, and I love it. And before I forget to mention, this part of the airport is modeled as well on the interior. Granted, it's not as high detailed as the other terminal, but in reality, this terminal is much more plain in comparison to the other part. There are some glitches here and there, but then again, it's the interior of the airport. You're not really supposed to be inside here, but it's beautiful how much detail they're adding here, and it really adds to just the overall airport feel. For example, if I'm parked right here, I can, physically look inside the terminal, and that just adds to the immersion, even though I'm not physically interacting with it. Before I wrap up this video, I want to mention a few things that are really cool, fun facts about this scenery. Firstly, the scenery includes different seasons, so depending on the time of year you're flying into, the airport will have winter textures, fall textures, spring and summer. I'm using FTX Global, I am using FTX Global, as well as Orbx OpenLC North America. Both of the sceneries integrate pretty well, and there's not a huge dividing line, is what I'm trying to imply here. It flows very smoothly. While SunSkyJet may not be the most active development group with updates, they are certainly one of the most humble ones. If you see any problems while during beta testing, they'll be willing to listen, and I love that about the developers. If you tell them, hey guys, this is broken, you should fix this, they're legitimately going to fix it, and they're going to thank you for telling them. I love that humility, as well as their down-to-earth persona. Really a great group of people. Another little thing I want to point out is the different lighting modes of the airport. As you can see right here, I'm changing the time of day ever so slightly, and as we get it closer to night, we can see how the airport performs in night lighting, which I think is pretty good. So let's just turn it to night, and here we go. Let the night sky illuminate. As you can see, airport looks pretty beautiful at night, and it doesn't look overly bright, but it also doesn't look overly dark, and that's one thing I'm really impressed about. Looking over the other concourse, you can see it looks like they're experimenting with dynamic lighting, but again, remember, this scenery was built back in 2013, back way before dynamic lighting was a serious thing to consider about in the FSX days. So, giving them the benefit of the doubt, it looks like they will incorporate many new night lighting features, and overall the airport looks pretty nice at night. Nonetheless, that's pretty much all we have for today. If you guys enjoyed this first impressions video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Smack the like button for more content such as this in the near future, and I will see you in the next episode. I'm Jordan. Thanks for watching.